Hi guys, it's Belle here and I am back with Margarete Miller Monday. It is week 21. As always, I will leave the links to Margarete Miller's YouTube channel and to her Etsy store where you can purchase the complete prompt list from, should you wish to do so. And yeah, if you're not sure what this is, for the last few years, Margarete Miller has created a 52-week set of collage prompts. You get 5 prompts and then a 6th bonus one that you could replace one of the other prompts with if you don't have those items. And you just collect them, the bits and pieces, and make a collage with them. I have a playlist of both last year's challenge that I completed and all of this year so far. So let's get started. Week 21. The first prompt is a window or door. So I have this old photograph from a vintage book. That's the other side of it. And as you can see, there are windows, and I suppose these are doorways, archways. I just really like it, and I like all the kind of stonework on it. So that's that. Something stenciled. So I have this pack of Tim Holtz stencils. Where's the number for them? Hold on. As I was saying, I have this set of Tim Holtz stencils. I think that is the number there. I just recently picked them up because they were on sale and I thought we'd use these. Blue ink, again, I have some Tim Holtz Distress ink. I have broken china and tumbled glass, although I think broken china is the only one working at the moment. A musical instrument. I have this gorgeous picture of this valve horn from, again, a vintage music book. A postage stamp. So I have 2 here. I think I'm going to use this one. It's a Sherlock Holmes one. I have this just because it's in browns and things, which kind of goes, but I think I'm probably going to use this one. And bonus, brown or craft paper. Now this already has some like envelope paper on it, which I think could be classed as brown, but I also have this large piece of wrapping. I like the holes in it. I think I'll probably stencil on here and then use it as collage. I have a few other bits and pieces just to kind of finish the piece off, because obviously you can add more if you should wish to. So first things first, I'm actually going to just stick this straight on to my page. Yep, so I'm just going to use double-sided tape to just stick it down exactly where I want it. Yeah, so this is really going for a vintage kind of look. But when I found the stamp and also the Sherlock Holmes stamp and also the building, the picture of the building, it kind of gave me Sherlock Holmes vibes, you know, like the Hound of the Baskervilles and things like that. Obviously Sherlock Holmes plays a violin, not a horn. However, horns make me think of, you know, sometimes you have them with dogs and things like that, and I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going for a bit of a vintage Victorian Sherlock Holmes kind of feel. I feel like we're going to write our own Sherlock Holmes story, that Sherlock has again been asked to attend to this house in the middle of, like, I don't know, where should we put this one? In the middle of the fens or something like that, like, or should we say the fens or the moors? Shall we go back to the moors? No, actually we're going to have an old London house. That's what we're going to have. So this house is on the outskirts of London back in the Victorian era. That's what it's going to be. I'm just going to place this down. I'm going to have it this way so I can actually see that I'm placing it flat. Hopefully you're getting that. Yeah, so he's been called out to this mystery, and it's the mystery of the ghostly horn. So in the middle of the night in this old family rich home, there's this musical horn that seems to blow. And whoever's hearing it, it's causing bad luck to happen. Death and things like that. And so Sherlock's been called out. This is my version of like a Sherlock story. Sherlock's been called out to try and work out what is causing it, where this noise is coming from. And, you know, obviously people think it's spectres. And Sherlock's thinking, it's not going to be spectres. Listen to the crunch. It's going to be something else. So that's what he's been called out to do in this one. That's what's inspired me with this collage. How do I get into this? There we go. Yeah. Called out to this house to investigate the mystery of the ghostly horn. So what do we want? Do we want some roses on here? I mean, we're just going to probably rip it up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know. Let's kind of put this on here and use some ink. Yeah, so there we go. Obviously, he's taken Watson with him because he can't go on a case without Watson. And Watson's going to be frightened. It's going to be but also quite scientific, you know, being a doctor and all that. And they're going to investigate this horn. Then maybe there's been like stories and myths handed down through the centuries of how this manor house came into the family in a disreputable kind of way. And that kind of means that the family have been cursed. And it's said that if this horn is heard, because maybe it's from the original owners of the land, maybe it's said that this horn being heard is a forewarning, almost like a banshee's call, that something, somewhere, someone will die or some catastrophe will befall the family. Yeah, that's what I'm going with, because, you know, that seems typical Sherlock Holmes, if you ask me. Okay, and I'm also going to cut this out. So that's what has inspired me. The mystery of the horn. And obviously we have never heard of this mystery yet because Watson hasn't had time to write it down yet. Yep, that's what I'm going with. So anyway, that seems particularly Sherlocky, don't you think? And obviously it's not going to be a real ghost, although, you know, we're going to get all that gothic atmosphere as they're investigating. The mists rolling around the gardens in the middle of the night. It's obviously got to be winter, hasn't it? Because, like, the story won't be ghostly enough if it's not cold and wintry and gets dark really early in the evening, and as the mist rolls over the garden in the coolness, you know, maybe weird shapes are seen, but they're actually just the shapes of old trees or something. I don't know. Right, so we're going to have the horn because this is the mystery of the horn. And we've obviously got Sherlock and Watson. I think Watson's on there. Is that Watson? It might be Watson. It might not be. It might be Moriarty. From the show, obviously. That's Benedict Cumberbatch from the show. Yeah, I like that there, like that, actually, below the windows. And obviously Watson and Sherlock are staying in one of these rooms because they need to be able to look out onto the spectre. Well, let's not do that yet. Let's do some of this. Let's rip some of this up after beautifully stenciling it. Yeah. And add it somewhere. Can be just added. Could be just below the room. We're not going to see the stenciling there, though, are we? Okay, not there. If we add it here, let's just stencil a bit more on here. let's just do that because we can. But yeah. Oh dear, the way my mind goes when I come across a particular thing. And yeah, I did love reading and watching Sherlock. Yeah, you know, the really old Sherlock shows that used to be on. That's going to go down there. So let's just glue that down now. All the movies. And yeah, at one point I did read every Sherlock book, every Sherlock story, should I say. I can't remember most of them now. It was a very long time ago that I watched them all. And I did really enjoy the Benedict Cumberbatch version. I did actually really enjoy that. The only problem with it was there was always so much. See, I wanted this label because it's got some old writing on it, and I just felt that would go with the theme. Yeah, there's always just so much kind of, there was so much distance between the two, between the episodes, that you could get a bit forgetful. Now again, we're covering up a lot of that, so let's move that over to the middle. Okay, and let's ink that label up because it's got white edges where I cut it. And I'm just using Vintage Photo Distress ink because that's what I grabbed. It was nearby. And let's maybe ink these tickets up too. Maybe the tickets are a clue of some sort, and ink around the edge of this paper here. This envelope paper. Who knows? But yeah, so I haven't actually read any Sherlock in quite a while. Maybe that's something I need to think about doing, rereading the stories as they were. I always like reading sort of modern takes on Sherlock. There is a trilogy of books out by Theodora Goss. What was it called? The Sinister Girl, The Mesmerizing. It was a set of 3 books. Anyway, Monstrous or something. The first one was. They were very good. They took kind of female characters, women, like the daughters of famous kind of characters. So like Jekyll and Hyde. Who else? Frankenstein. Van Helsing, people like that, and they kind of created these stories around them. But they were fantastic books. I've still actually got to finish the last one. I think I've been putting it off because I really want more than just the 3 of the books. I want a lot more. I've loved them so much. I've also got this blue vase because maybe it's something to do with the blue vase, and the blue picks up the blue in the ink, but I don't know. Yeah, they're just such good books that I was like, no, why have you only done 3? So I've put off reading the last one at the moment. And yeah, Sherlock's actually in those as well. That can go up there. Let's just ink around the edge of this one as well to make it really stand out. So yeah, Sherlock and Watson are in those books as side characters. So I always enjoy things like that where they bring Sherlock in, or there was that film years ago, wasn't it? Young Sherlock. That was quite good fun, but that was many years ago. And we've got Enola Holmes now is kind of the latest, or one of the latest kind of reimaginings, which obviously is based on the idea that Sherlock's got a younger sister who's now out and solving crimes and getting in his way, as it were. Yeah, so I always enjoy things like that, but I haven't actually reread the original Sherlock in a long time. When we were in... Oh, and there's not only the Sherlock Museum, there's like a cafe or something, I think, in London. But actually, when we were in Whitby in April now, gosh, seems so long ago now, there was actually a Sherlock Holmes cafe, which we didn't actually eat in, but it was very nice. And I took a picture of it because one of my sons really does enjoy Sherlock Holmes. I feel like I really do want to put this blue vase on just because it picks up the blue in the ink, in the stenciling. And maybe it's to do with this vase. The whole story. Put it up there in one of the windows. Up there. I feel like I like it here in this cluster. Feel like I like it there. Or should we just leave it? No, I'm going to add this because it just feels like there should be. We do have more of this. Just a bit of stenciling that I could put down here, or we could have it up there. Yeah, I think up there. Let's just cut the end. I'm going to say straight, but I'm not very good at that, so maybe that's what it needed and not the vase. Anyway, so yeah, let me know down below if you're a Sherlock Holmes fan, and if you are, which version of Sherlock, either like on the TV movies, because didn't Robert Downey Jr. also play Sherlock in the movies as well? Yeah. Let me know which is your favourite. Do I still want the vase? I feel like I do, so I'm just going to add the vase because that's what I feel like I want. So, to finish that off. And then we will be done. Gosh, yes, this came together nicely. They always do come together quite quickly when I have, like, unless I want that down. When I have a, like, vision in my head of what's inspiring them. So, let's have a look. A window or door, there's the window. Something stenciled, we've got stenciling on the brown paper, blue ink. We've stenciled in blue ink, a musical instrument, this valve horn, a postage stamp, and brown or craft paper. And there we go, guys. So that's week 21, inspired by my own made-up version of a Sherlock Holmes mystery that Watson has not yet documented for us to read about. But I'm sure he will soon. I'm sure as soon as they get back and have solved this mystery, whatever the mystery may be, and why the blue vase is so important, like what clue is that in the whole thing, then we'll know all about it. So yeah, they're still in the process of solving the crime. That's what I like to think, or the mystery. So that is week 21, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. And wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having lots of crafty fun. Bye for now.